Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Today we're going to do a playthrough of Pandemic: The Cure. However, we are also going to include the Experimental Meds expansion. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this playthrough. I want you guys to see how this expansion works and see if maybe it's something that's right for you guys in your gaming group. The game comes with, the expansion I should say, the expansion comes with two different ways you can play the game. The first is with the mutation challenge, and that simply adds a fifth disease similar to Pandemic, the regular game. There are a couple little differences with the die itself, and you'll see that if you want to during the setup of the game. There also is the Hotspots expansion, and that uses these green dice, okay? And I also will go through that in detail during the setup so you guys know what that is. During my playthrough I'm going to do both, so I'm going to add the fifth disease and use the hotspots so you can see how it works. Hope you guys enjoy the playthrough, and if you would like to just watch the playthrough, you don't want to see the setup, go down to the show notes, find the timestamp for the playthrough and click on that. Otherwise you can just keep watching to see how to set up the game, as well as details on specific cards and what the hot spots and the fifth disease adds to the game. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so what you see in front of you are these 8 new characters that come with the game, with the expansion I should say. There are 2 of these individuals, the operational expert and the celebrity activist, that both are for 3 or more players, at least that's what's suggested. So I'm actually going to take those 2 out because I'm going to play this solo with 2 characters. And then what we're going to do is, I've got this gold die that I got from my sister for Christmas. I'm going to roll this twice, and that's going to determine the 2 characters we're going to use for this playthrough. So here's the first one. All right, we got a 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, the epidemiologist. And then if I roll a 5, we'll just re-roll. Let's see, ooh, a 1. Oh, the quarantine specialist. All right, so we'll look at those 2 in detail next. All right, so over here on the left, we have the quarantine specialist. And what's pretty cool about their identity cards here is they show the different faces that are on the die. So their dice have 6 sides, of course, and so on one of those sides are each one of these pictures. So one of hers will be a plane. If it's a plane, she can fly to any region at all. She also has take a sample. She has 2 treats, which she can just treat an infection die to place it into the treatment center, or place an infection die from the treatment center into the bag, infection bag as well. She has 2 of those, so 2 sides of the die will show that. She has one side that is a boat or a treat, and then of course one that is the biohazard. And when the biohazard gets rolled, that die is locked, and then you increase the infection rate syringe by 1. Now for the epidemiologist, she has these 6 icons, so she will have the boat, the take a sample, boat or the treat, but then she also has this icon, and that's a special icon, and you'll read down here to determine what that is, and then the biohazard icon as well. So to go into their special abilities, first the quarantine specialist has 2 pretty sweet abilities. First of all, infection dice cannot be placed in your region, instead put them in the infection bag. So basically if you roll an infection die and it's supposed to go in her region, she says nope and is able to block it. Also, and probably her coolest ability, immediately before the infect region step of your turn, you may move to any region on the board for free. So she can move anywhere. Kind of awesome. Okay. The epidemiologist, she is, let's see, her first ability is you may take samples from any other player in your region at any time with permission. So she can actually grab samples from other people just as long as she's in the same region at any point. Normally you have to do it after you've spent all of your action dice. She also has that special icon die, so it looks like this. And she can use that to collect a sample of 1 or 2 dice from, of the same color from the treatment center. So pretty cool. So normally when you take a sample, you can only take 1 sample at a time. So one single infection die. However, with that icon, she can take 2 infection dice. It's pretty sweet. So here we have the 2 additional modes that come with experimental meds. The first is the mutation challenge. So the mutation challenge simply does add a 5th disease. However, this 5th disease has 2 unique items to it, and that's this ×2 and -1. So all the other dice you'll see have the cross as normal, but then they just have numbers on them. There's no ×2 or +1 on them at all. And so these 2 add kind of a unique challenge to the game. So if when you are infecting, you're in the infecting phase of the game and you roll this ×2, what you do is you have to re-roll that purple die, but then you grab another die, another infection die from the bag, and you roll another die. So basically you're adding more infections on the board. This -1, what you do is you actually take an infection die out of the bag and remove it from the game. It's gone forever. So what happens is because one of the ways you can lose is if you run out of dice in your bag, run out of infection dice, and so it's essentially hurrying that along. Pretty cool. Also, when you're trying to find a cure, how this works is normally when you find a cure, you grab all of your infection dice and you roll them, and then you add them all up. Well, what you'll do is you'll take all of these -1s that you roll and subtract that from any total numbers. So let's say, for an example, I rolled a 4. I take that 4, I'll subtract 1 to get 3, and then if I have a ×2 after that, I'll take that 3, so 4 -1, 3, and multiply it by 2 to get 6. Then you see if you have 13 or more. If you have 13 or more, you've cured the disease. So that's the mutation challenge. What we have here then is the hotspot challenge. So now the hotspot challenge adds a little bit of, it makes it more difficult, but it also makes it a little easier because there are 3 sides of these dice that are helpful and there are 3 sides of these dice that are unhelpful. So what we're going to do is when we start with our setup, we will, after we roll our 12 infection dice and infect the regions to begin with, we will then roll 5 of these dice, putting 1 in each location that has the most of each type of infection color. So we'll roll 1 and then we'll put it in a spot that has the most yellow. Then we'll roll another one that has a spot with the most blue, etc., etc. And then what you can do is during the game, you can, if they're the white ones here, you can use that ability of whatever it is and then re-roll the die and place it on that location. If it's this yellow, where it's a bad thing, you can actually spend dice that you had in the CDC right here, and you can re-roll them then, or you can just try and deal with them however you want. Now, what do the 6 dice faces do? I'll read them to you quickly. So the first one, starting on the left, that is called an evacuation. And what you're going to do is you're going to spend this to move any hot zone or infection die in this region to an adjacent region. I should say that these hot zone dice will also outbreak just like regular dice. So if you get more than 3 hot zone dice in one location and you are placing a 4th, then it actually has an outbreak and it pushes 1 clockwise. The second one is the isolation ward, and you can spend this to re-roll a biohazard result before it takes effect. Love it, that's a good one. The other one I really like is the hazardous samples. Spend for +1 to try and find a cure roll here. Then advance the infection rate syringe by 1. So let's say I roll a 12, I can spend that to get 13 so I can find that cure, but then I have to move the syringe 1 more up the track to where I potentially will have another epidemic. So those are the 3 good ones. The 3 bad ones is, the first is the transportation lockdown. This one is terrible because when you're spending a flight or a boat to move into that region, you have to spend an additional 1 for each of the transportation dice on there. So if you ever get 2 in a spot, it's insane, okay? Not a good one. The next one there that looks like a cross is called the influx of patients. So if this region outbreaks, you have to draw and place 4 infection dice in the treatment center. That's just basically pulling them out of the bag and putting them in the treatment center where potentially if you have an epidemic, you're going to take all those dice and re-roll them. Last but certainly not least is the rate effect. If only even 1 infection die is added here, change it to the evacuation icon and then draw and roll 2 additional infection dice. All right, here are the 6 regions that we will have during the game. 6 regions of the world. You can see they have little pips on them. That tells you that when you roll, so if I roll this infection die and it has a 6, I'll be placing it in that spot. Also, you can see that they have the different colors here. So that means 2 sides of the red die is a 6. So, excuse me, for example, you see how that's a 6 on that side, and here's the other 6 on this side. Also, 2 of the sides of the red die is a 1. So a 1 and a 1. And then this tells us 1 side of the red is 4. Here it is. And always 1 side of the infection die is a cross, which then would mean it goes to the CDC. But so you're going to have these regions, you're going to be moving between the regions. Regions are adjacent, so like 1 is adjacent to 2, 2 is adjacent to 3, 3 to 4, 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 1. And we'll put it around the treatment center, and you'll see that in a second. But then we're going to be placing infection dice on here according to the colors that they have. And then if ever you have an outbreak, so I'm supposed to place a 4th purple here, what will happen is it'll actually outbreak and go to the adjacent region. You don't draw more dice or put more infection dice out, but you will be moving these to adjacent regions. So those are the different regions of the game. All right, this is the treatment center right here. So when we treat a die, an infection die from one of the regions, so we'll have the regions around this like so. I think you can kind of see that, yep. And so what we will do is we'll be placing dice on here, and then if we move around and we treat one of these, it'll be placed inside of the treatment center, and then we can treat it again to actually put it into the bag. So this is the treatment center. If ever we get to one of these spots where these green dice are and there's any dice in here, we're going to have to re-roll all of the dice that are in here, as well as whatever amount is on that new section of dice. So if you look here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 dice on this spot. That means when we get into this location and we move this syringe up to here, we immediately have to roll 4 dice from the bag plus whatever is in this in the treatment center. And because we're doing the hot spot addition to the game, we will also have to roll one of these dice, one of these hot spot dice. And what we'll do is we'll roll it, and then whatever we get, we will place that in the region that we're in. So let's say we were in region 1, then we would place that in here, and then that comes into effect going forward in that location. So you're going to be placing more hotspot dice as we go through the game. This is the infection track. So once we get to this spot and we move to here, we lose the game. So we have to make sure that we don't roll too many biohazard faces on our dice, because every time we do, it's going to increase that track. We also have outbreaks. So just like the regular pandemic, if we have 8 outbreaks, we lose the game. And that outbreak is whenever we have 3 dice of the same color in a location, and then we're going to add a 4th die of that type. We then outbreak, and what happens is one of these dice goes clockwise to the next location, and then we move this syringe 1 up the track. If we do that 8 times, we lose the game. It's another way we lose. Welcome to the CDC. So here, this is where, if you think of pandemic, you have event cards in the infection deck, or not the infection deck. I can't remember what that deck is called right now. But you have event cards that you can use throughout the game at any time. Well, what you have here is you have an event deck, and you have these events that are sitting out and available for your use. And what you do is you see these costs. These costs tell us how much it costs for us to actually use that effect. Now, how do we pay for that? Well, when we infect during the infection phase and we roll these dice, if you get one that has a cross, can't believe I did that, that was lucky, we will place that one, instead of placing, so these ones will place in the specific regions. That'll go in region 4, that'll go in region 3. But this die, since we rolled the cross, actually goes into the CDC. And then we can use that die to activate any of these event cards to help us out during the game. Once you use one, you'll immediately place it with a new one. Okay? And I'll read these ones out to you. We'll start with these 3 out. So our first one is a a containment attempt, which lets us reroll one die with a biohazard result before it takes effect. We also have a relocation order. You can move up to 2 dice, hot zone or infection, from the same region to a single different region. Kind of cool. And then we have the emergency conference, and that one says select a player. Each other player's pawn may move to that region that this player's current pawn is currently in. And you can see some of these have this little icon. That means they come from the expansion. So the expansion does provide you with more event cards. Also, up here, this is where when we cure, so let's say we cured purple, red. When we cure red, we can place that red die there. And once again, this is the expansion one because we do have the 5th disease. Now I just want to show you this card just so you can see the order of play. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to roll your player dice and do your actions. You have to immediately roll all of your dice at the beginning of your turn, but then you can re-roll your dice as many times as you want, knowing that if you roll that biohazard, you move the infection rate syringe up once, and then that die is locked for the rest of that round. Once you do all of your actions, you've decided to do all the actions that are there, the next thing you'll move to is give samples to anyone in your current region. So you can give samples to anybody after you've done your actions. Then, if you have any samples, you can try and find a cure. And to find a cure, you'll take all of your samples of a specific color. So let's say it was red and you had these 3. You'll take these 3 and roll them, and you'll add them up, 4, 5, 6. You'll compare that to the 13 that you need. Oh, this was a 4. And obviously I failed. So you can keep the samples for another time, another go, but that's your way you're going to actually find the cure. Then after that, you're going to infect regions. And depending upon the level, you'll grab your infection dice, give them a roll, and then put them in the specific region. So we'd be putting 2 in the 6 region and 1 in the 1 region. Alright, so now that I've gone through the different components of the game, let's set it up. So this is how you'll set it up on your table. You've got your events over there on the right side, which will include 3 that are already flipped up, and your CDC for any of those cross dice that you roll. You then have your 2 character sheets and your pawns, and when your pawns will start, they'll always start in North America. That's because this is made by an American, and so that's kind of how it is. No, actually, I don't even know if Matt Leacock is an American, so don't quote me on that. But that's where the CDC is supposed to have started, so therefore that's where we start. You will also place these hotspot dice, 1 at each spot where you'll have an epidemic. And so that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Now, if I started at a harder level, I would have less dice out here. However, it is difficult to complete this game with 5 diseases and the hot zone dice, or hotspot dice, without doing at the intro level. So that's what I'm doing. So next what we do is we grab our trusty infection die bag, and we're going to grab 12 dice out of here. I'm just going to pick a random amount and then make sure we get up to 12 eventually. And you're going to roll them. Any crosses you'll re-roll. And then these are going to be placed out on the board. You'll start with 12 total that are out. And let's see, 1, 2, and a 3, and another 6. Ooh, looks like the 6 area is not looking good. So how many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, and here's the 12th one. All right, and we'll re-roll the times 2. Okay. So you got another 4, and another 4, and a 3, and a 1. So just to make sure, we got 4 here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take these 5 hot zone dice, roll them 1 at a time. Okay, this one needs to go where there's the most yellow. Well, there's any yellow on the board, so the most potential yellow is in 5 or in 1. And then we get to choose where, so I'm going to do here. Then this next one should be the most blue. That'll be here. Then the most black. That'll be here. Then the most red. That's also going to be here. And then the most purple. And that's going to be here. So you can see there's already 2 hot zone dice here. If we have a 3rd here and we try and add a 4th, that's going to outbreak. We would actually go 1 up the outbreak track, and then that hot zone die would outbreak to the next region. So now we are all set to play. We just need to determine a first player. I'm going to use the Quarantine Specialist as the first player, and because I really like this gold die, I know I'm kind of pathetic, I'm going to use that to go back and forth to say, okay, first it's the Quarantine's turn, and when the turn's done, we'll go here. So that way I remember who's going when. All right, so that's how you set up the game. Let's get started. All right, so Quarantine Specialist turn. Oh, I should probably grab all 5 dice. We'll grab the 5. Let's roll them. Look at that. We do not have any biohazards. That is what we want to see. So, first thing is, we want to think about what we want to cure first. Well, I don't have any samples, so I think what I'm going to first do is use this to fly here. Then I'm going to use these 2 treats to treat 2 reds. Now, why I'm doing that is because I can then have the epidemiologist get her double and get 2 red in for 1 die for a sample. Pretty cool. That's why I want to do that. Then I'm going to have her fly. Let's see. I'm going to have her fly over here to black, and let's treat one of those as well. Put him in the treatment center. Now, the next step is she could give samples. Doesn't have any samples, not in the same region as anybody, so I'm not going to do anything there. Next, she could try and find a cure. Well, she doesn't have any samples to try and find a cure. So at the end of that, then she rolls infection dice. However, before we roll the infection dice, because of her ability, she can go to any region she wants, and remember, she prevents dice being placed in her region. All right, let's see. Well, 4 looks the worst, probably, so I'll have her be in region 4. Now, if we roll any 4s, what's nice is we'll put those dice right back in the bag. And because we're at the intro at the beginning, we're only going to be rolling 3 infection dice. Now I should say, these hotspot dice that are out here, none of these were hindering movement. None of these were transportation issues, so we have no problems there. All right, so let's see. Here's our 3 dice. So we do have a chance for some 4s. Let's see. Nope, we got a 5, 5, and a -1. So we do the -1 first. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out this die, and this purple is gone from the game. And then we re-roll this one, we get a 2. Okay, so then we'll place the 2 5s here and a 2 here. Then we go to the epidemiologist. All right, let's see, what do we get? First thing we get, biohazard. Move this up by 1. So she didn't get her specialty. She got a lot of boats and a sample. So she's actually going to do this to grab this as a sample. She's going to re-roll these 3 boats. She's looking for her double sample here. Aha! So we can grab that. We now have 3 red dice. Awesome. I almost wish there was more on the board. 3 might not be enough. Okay, and then what we'll do is we will move. I don't really know what else I want to do with this, so I think we're just going to move 2 regions to get ourselves over here. All right, then we could try and give samples, but nobody's there, so we can try and find a cure. So we need 13. There's a chance. There's 6s and 1s on here. Now crosses are 0. Let's see. 4 plus 1 plus cross is 5. Didn't work. We're going to need more than 3 dice, I think. So now we go to the infect stage. Grab 3 dice, roll them. Oh man, no 4s. 2 3s and a 2. All right, back to the Quarantine Specialist. All right, give a roll to her dice. Wow, look at that. We have no more reds on the board. That's almost a problem. Let's see. Well, let's do, I don't know if we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The most we have is black. So I might start collecting some black here. So I can do that. And then I'm actually going to re-roll these two. I haven't used these two yet, but I'm going to re-roll these two. Got another one, so I'm going to do this black. And then I'm going to roll this one. That's still a treat. Ah, that's what I wanted. Boat. Let's see if I can get 2 more samples. Ooh, biohazard. I'll move up by another one. And I have a plane. Let's see. Ah, come on. Oh, yes. Taking a sample. All right, so 3 of these is going to make 9, generally, because look, 3 of the sides are going to give us 3s. So we have 9 there. We need 13. So, but there's 2 more here. So actually, what I'm going to do, ended that part of my turn. I can give my samples to the epidemiologist. Perfect. Now I can't roll to do test a cure, but that's fine. I can move to any region. I'm going to move to the 6 region this time. Roll 3 infection dice. Aha! Here it is. Here's a 6. Put that back in the bag. Don't have to put it out since I'm there. It's the quarantine specialist. All right, that's the end of her turn. Now, because we have 2 dice eaten up with those red dice, we're only going to be rolling 3 action dice. This is a bit of a bummer. And one of them is a biohazard. So the next biohazard that we roll, we are going to be having our first epidemic. We have a boat. It's not what I don't want either of these. Let's see. Oh, come on. I need some samples. Here we go. That's going to help. So we have another sample. And then boat. We'll boat ourselves over here. Perfect. Then we're going to test a cure. Let's see if we can do it. 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, come on. One of these be a 5. That'd be nice. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have just cured black. So what we'll do is we'll take 3 of these, put them back in the infection bag, and then place this black die here to show that it is now cured. So now, because it's cured, what happens is anytime we treat black, all of the black in that region is going to go into the treatment center. Or if ever we treat black that's in the treatment center, all of the black in the treatment center will go back in the bag. Kind of cool. And the quarantine specialist gets her dice back, and the epidemiologist gets her 1 die back. So next, we will infect, and we're still at 3. All right, 5 and 2 1s. Okay, that's not bad, and this is black, so that's not bad at all. All right, so now we move to the quarantine specialist. Shake up her dice. Ooh, first thing, biohazard. And we have an epidemic. So, first thing we do is we roll this hotspot die. Okay, that's not terrible. That actually, and we place it in the spot that we're in. And you know what? I should have thought about that. That would have let me re-roll my biohazard die, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Because why would I not? Because that's an isolation ward. So because of that, I'm actually going to say hold up and redo this. So this die will still be on here. So we'll go here. I'm going to re-roll this die. Oh, it's one of these. That's annoying. That is called the rate effect. The next time we place a die there, we'll change it to the evacuation icon, but then we have to roll 2 additional dice from the bag, infection dice. And we get to re-roll this one. Okay, cool. Not an infection hazard. All right, so we've got red. We've got more red on the board. Awesome. First thing, use the boat to boat here. Second thing, grab all these dice. No. Perfect. Use these 2 to treat these 2 to put them in the treatment center. Ooh, but there's a chance for the outbreak or epidemic. I think what we're going to do instead is re-roll these 4, hoping that we can get a sample. No samples. I am going to leave this plane. The reason I'm going to leave this plane is I'm hoping to end in this region so I can give these 2 to the epidemiologist. I rolled it again, and I'm not in a spot where I can re-roll. So now we have an epidemic. First, a hotspot die. Oh, this will let me re-roll that if I needed. And we have to roll, because we still are only at 3 dice for the infection rate. We have to roll 3 dice for the infection rate. Now, look at where I am. Quarantine specialist will block this 1, which is awesome. This 2 will go here, and the 3 will go here. Okay, not bad. I have another sample die. Awesome. And come on, 1 more sample. Oh, it's a treat. Sample. Oh, treat. Oh, plane. Ooh, biohazard. Okay, well at least it's 1. So I'm going to use my plane to fly over here. And then after that, give a sample. I'm going to give the sample. I can't try and test a cure. So then I grab 3 dice for the infection. Here's the 3 dice, 2 yellows and a blue. And finally, we have a die that has a cross we can put in the CDC, and I can show you how that works. This goes here. Oh, and I forgot. The quarantine specialist could have moved, but I didn't, and I guess she's there. And so she'll block this 4, which is nice. Now I'm going to look. Okay. I can start using these event dice. Or sorry, these events. And right now none of them are useful, but they potentially could be. All right, so now it's over to the epidemiologist. If she could get 1 more red, there's like no chance though. She has no plane, so it's hard for her to move around. So it's going to take her 1, 2, 3 dice to move over to where there's another red, and she's just not going to do that. So I think instead, we have 1 of these, so biohazard move this up. I think instead she's going to just start treating. So that was a treat for that. And come on, give me another treat. Ooh, sample. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 purple on there. I am going to grab a purple. Actually, instead of grabbing it from here, I'm going to grab it from the treatment center. Okay, so I've used my 5 dice. I'm then going to see if I can find a cure here. I could have given this to the quarantine specialist, but I think I have a good chance here because the red dice, 2 sides are 6s. So let's see, I'm rolling 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Oh, look at that. 6, 6, 4, 4, 6, 12, 16, 20. Yeah. We have now cured 2 out of the 5 diseases. Woohoo! Oh yeah. All right. So now because of that, we will get these dice back. The quarantine specialist will get her die back. And we will infect at rate of 3. Here's our 3 dice. Let's roll them. Okay, 6. Okay, we're okay there. Oh, now this, because we have a rate effect, immediately moves to the evacuation, but we have to roll 2 additional infection dice. And oh, we got a -1. So we lose forever this yellow die. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, another -1. So we're gonna lose forever this purple die. So 2 purples and a yellow we have lost. To reroll. Okay, 5, finally. All right. Looks like we're gonna have our first outbreak. So you see how there are 4 yellows in that region? That is not good. Dun dun dun. We're gonna move to the first spot. Sorry, I had it there already. We'll move to the first spot on our outbreaks and move this over to here. Oh man. Now, if we had outbroken here, that would not have been good. So fortunately, there are no hotspot dice in there. All right, so that was the epidemiologist's turn, so let's go back to the quarantine specialist. Shake, 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 shake. And, okay, first thing is we have a biohazard. All right, so next when we roll, we can use this. We do have 2 of these, and I'm going to use one to grab this purple. I'm going to use this fly action to come over here and grab another purple. So I've used this fly, I've used that, and then I'll end with this fly to come back over here so that I can then give these 2 samples over to the epidemiologist. Then I can go to any region, and guess what region I'm going to? The 2 region. Okay. Then we have to infect. Ooh, this is already not feeling very full. The bag is getting empty quick. Oh, we have 2 6s. Oh, you see this? We do not want to outbreak there. And a 4. Oh, that's nice though. That's perfect for the epidemiologist. All right. Over to the epidemiologist. Now, 1 more biohazard and we outbreak. So we're just not going to do that. And we got one. So what we're going to do is use this die, put it back in the infection die bag to activate the containment attempt. Reroll 1 player die with a biohazard result before it takes effect. And then we'll flip a new one. Resilient population, which I'm not even going to redo because I don't have any dice in my CDC. Oh, yes, okay. So, first, grab a sample. I like it. Second, keep this one and roll for a boat. Come on. Yes, here's a boat. I'm gonna move to this region and we're gonna use this one to take a sample here. And then we might as well just treat, and we'll treat 2 black dice because we've already cured black, to plop them into the treatment center. All right, then we're going to take our purple dice and try and cure our 3rd disease. Can we do it? Can we do it? Oh, maybe we can. 5, 10, 15, 14, 13. Guess what we need? 13 or more. We have cured purple. Wow, this is working out well. We are 3/5 the way there, guys. That is not too shabby. All right, and then the epidemiologist will get her dice back, and so will the quarantine specialist. Oh, yep, first I gotta roll the 3 infection dice. Some 2s would be good here, don't you think? Yeah, let's do some 2s because those go back in the bag. Oh, 2 2s. Throw those back in the bag. However, yikes. Look at that. We need to get to the 6th region. So, okay, quarantine specialist. Okay, we have no cross dice to use. We can't use any events, so we're just not going to roll a biohazard. Right, guys? Right, guys? Right. Okay, this isn't bad. So we need to do blue next or yellow. And I'm in a good spot for that. So what I think I'm going to do is use 1 treat to treat both purples. Okay. Use another treat to put these 2 black back in the bag. Use this treat to put these 2 purple back in the bag. And then use this treat to treat 1 blue. Okay. Then we're gonna pop, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 yellow out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do blue because there's more blue out. We'll grab a blue like so. So instead of treating this blue, then I'm gonna actually have treated this yellow. Okay, then we can go to any region and we're going to jump to this region. Now, that's because of her special ability. And I didn't give any, and I didn't try and roll because obviously I can't get 13 with 1 die. All right, now we're gonna roll 3 infection dice and hope we can get some crosses here, or some 6s. Ooh, there's a 6. See ya, back in the bag. 2 3s. That's not terrible. Okay. Oh, I forgot to move this over here, guys. Sorry. Back to the epidemiologist. All right. We need to get some blues. So we're looking for a boat. We're looking for a boat to get over to that region so we can get over to this region 6 so we can pick up some of those blue ones. And there's nothing we can do about this one. So we have another epidemic. So first, we'll roll this hotspot die. Okay, that's not bad. That's called the hazardous sample. We can actually use that potentially if we try and find a cure in that location. But we're going to have to grab this yellow die plus 3 more. So we're still at the 3 range. There's 3. So we're going to roll a total of 4. I'm just going to move these over here. And let's see, crosses. Okay, here's 1 cross. We have a -1, so that means we're going to lose forever this black die. We have now lost 4 dice. Okay, reroll this 1. Oh, it's a 4. 4, 5, and 2. Okay, we're okay, we're okay. So we have 4 dice left. We're going to boat over to here, and we're going to re-roll these for single samples. Come on, single samples. And instead we get another biohazard. So you can see, it's a little bit of a press your luck game here. And I might be pressing it too much, but Okay, we're going to do this. 1 treat. We're going to treat all of this red, because we've already cured red. And let's see if we can get a sample here. Nope. Okay, then I'm going to use that one just to clear out the red, just to get some more dice back in the bag. All right, so that's my 5. Then we'll grab 3 dice from the bag. Here's our 3. Roll them. Come on, crosses. There's a cross. Yeah. All right, so now that we have 2 crosses, I'll read you this card over here. We do have this resilient population, which we can remove from the game 1, 2, or 3 dice of the same color from one region and put them in the box. Ooh, I haven't used that one before. I don't know if I would. I don't want to, with those purple dice, removing dice from the game, I don't think I really want to remove more dice, but we have that as an option. All right, let's go over to the quarantine specialist. Okay, a bunch of treats and a plane. I'm re-rolling all of them. I really want some samples here. I've got 3 blue that are just waiting. They're just waiting. Oh, man. Come on. They're just waiting. They're waiting to be taken as a sample. Okay, 2. But first, biohazard. Gotta use that. Move here. But now we have 2 more blues. We've got the blues, man. Okay, 1 die left. Do I want to use it? Come on. Come on. We can get another sample. Oh! Boom shakalaka. All right. We got it. Now, the question is, do I try and roll and cure it now or give it to the epidemiologist? 1, 2, 3, 4. The epidemiologist is just so good at it. But hopefully, she can do it next round. She could boat and get another sample. Might be over the top, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I can move to any region. Let's move over here. No, let's move here. That's the one that's most likely to outbreak. Rotation 2. We grab 3 dice. Well, no yellow, so we would have been fine. Ooh, another cross. Thank you very much. A 6 and a 4. Okay, not terrible. All right, now we'll go to the epidemiologist. Come on, let's get another blue. Ooh, looking good. Here's a blue. I honestly think that's going to be enough blues. Yeah, so let's get you out of that region, shall we? Why don't we actually let's use this emergency conference. Everybody, let's have a conference. So we select a player, quarantine specialist. Players may move their pawn to that spot, so that's what we're going to do. Put that over there and immediately replace it with, reroll one die. We're trying to find a cure. And we did have to use one die, so I'll grab one die from there. And we are now moving to this region for free. And the reason I did that is because it has yellow in it. So, I'm going to assume that we're going to cure blue here. And let's see if I can get some samples, of yellow. Well, that'll do. Here's 2 samples of yellow. And let's reroll these. I need one more sample. Oh man, the dice are going my way today. I'm gonna boat myself over here. All right, so I'm not giving anybody samples. I'm gonna try and just find a cure for blue right here. Let's see. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Seriously? I am getting so lucky, you guys. 6, 9, 11, 12, 13. Blue is cured, you guys. We have one more disease to do. And we haven't even moved to rolling 4 dice around. We are doing great. And because of that, the quarantine specialist gets her dice back. We'll move to her after we roll our 3 infection dice. Let's see, a 4, a 1, that's getting close, and a 3. Don't really want that to happen either. All right. So, let's get rolling for the quarantine. Let's see, what do we want to do with the quarantine specialist? She's got yellow. I think we just need to go over and clean up a little bit. Clean up maybe location 1. Clean up location 1 and in location 3 just to protect for outbreaks. Cool. All right. Let's see. Well, first, biohazard. And we are now 1 away. All right, let's boat over here. Let's use both these treats to move all this red into here and then move all the red into the bag because it is cured. And then, but I don't really need to fly there. Yeah, let's see, maybe I can be smart, you guys, and take a step back and re-roll this die because I have this. That isolation ward lets me re-roll one of those. So, and I have another isolation ward there, and I get to re-roll this. Oh, nice. So I have this. I've used that. I had a plane. I'm gonna re-roll. Okay. Because of that. Oh, come on, plane. Plane. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman. Actually, it's quarantine specialist. Flying over to location 3. Sweet. Getting another sample. That is the end of using her action dice. She's going to give a sample. Gosh, I'm having a hard time doing this, you guys. Sorry. There we go. And then try and find a cure. Can't do that. So then roll 3 dice. 2 minus 1s. So we're losing these 2 black dice. Then a times 2. So we're going to roll this die, this black die, with all of these. So let's see. Oh my gosh, that's lucky. 2 more crosses. 5, 3 does not go there. Goes back to the bag because that's where I wanted the quarantine specialist to end. All right, we are on to the epidemiologist. I am hoping we win the game right here. Now let me see. I'm not going to use any of these. So I've got 4 dice that are available to me. I might use the re-examine research when I try and find the cure here. But to be honest, with that many yellow dice, I might not need to. But let's see. I'm saying that now, and I'm sure I'm going to bite my butt later for it. I'm going to move here, and then I just need to take a sample. Ah, it's the wrong one. That's one that I was to get it from the treatment center. Oh, come on. Come on. Ooh. Ooh. Ouch. 1 away. All right. Let's see if we can do this. Can we make 13? We only have 4 dice. There's a good chance we're not going to find the cure here. I was a little cocky. Let's see. Ooh, no, we definitely did. 5, 5, 5 plus 4 is 19. You guys, we have just completed this game. We blew this out of the water. Now, I rolled really incredibly well. So that does not always happen, but that's a good playthrough. I don't normally win the games when I do a playthrough, so I had a nice sound whopping of Pandemic the Cure. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope if you guys like this, you will subscribe to my videos and like my videos, because I will also be doing something kind of fun, and that is having a contest. So I'll probably be posting it sometime early next week. I'm giving away 3 games. I'm giving away London Dread, my used copy of London Dread. I have a new copy of Aeon's End Breach Mage level, and I have a new copy of this expansion for Pandemic the Cure, the experimental meds. Giving those 3 games away, so be on the lookout for that, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again for watching.